Hey guys, it's Kary Oberbrunner. Hope you are doing fantastic. Happy Sunday. It is day 3 of 5 for how to become a six-figure author. We have people jumping in from all over. Thanks so much. People are going to be populating here. I'm going to do some Q&A for everyone, and I have a fantastic teammate, David, who's managing the comments today. So thank you for doing that, David. Go ahead and type where you're from below. Go ahead and type in where you're from. That would be fantastic. I am going to share this broadcast myself. I know David's sharing it as well to a few different places. So thanks. We're going to get the party started here, and I'm going to answer all your questions related to how to write, publish, and market your book the right way so that you can become a six-figure author, experience freedom, and really make that book become 18 streams of income. So I'm going to be sharing this right now to my own timeline, and if you guys can do that as well, that would be fantastic. Also, when you do that, we're going to give everybody a gift here at the end just for doing that. So after you do share it, type in the word shared, and we'll make sure that we give you that gift. That would be fantastic. Awesome. So I shared it to my timeline. I get a free gift. We have Amber from Massachusetts, Diane from South Florida. We have Laura from Texas. We have Donna from California. Donna, welcome. I saw you just jumped into the Deeper Path mini course, so congratulations to you. Laura, welcome all the way from Wisconsin. Go Packers. We have Estelle from Ohio, Don from California, and a bunch more other people coming. And by the way, Amber, super big thanks to you for sharing it as well. We have Petula from the UK. Super excited about your book. And Georgette, Amber, all you guys, thanks for sharing it. That adds a big crowd element, and then we're able to really ignite 1 million souls, which is our goal. How many of you are part of the six-figure author 5-day challenge? That's absolutely free. I am blown away. We now are on the verge of 2,500 people who've taken the free 5-day challenge. David, if you can put the link for the 5-day challenge right in there, this will get you guys immediately rocking and rolling with what you need to take the first steps to become a six-figure author. Again, it's all free. I'm in there every day. Tonight, you're going to meet one of my mystery six-figure authors. How many of you enjoyed Melissa last night? Go ahead and type in the word Melissa if you enjoyed her 2 nights ago. Or Mary. Mary was last night. Blown away. I mean, Mary 3 years ago is where many of us are today. And she didn't have a book. She had a corporate job. But then she decided that she wanted to go pro with her passion. She wanted to take a book and leverage it into 18 streams of income. And so she basically, we showed her how to do that. Today, last night, she shared that she's making $10,000 a month just from her book and the related products and services. And I am so excited. There's the challenge link. Let's get started. You guys are here. A lot of people liked Mary and Melissa, by the way. Thanks, Michael and Catherine and all kinds of you fantastic people who enjoyed it last night. So here's the point. Let's jump right in. You guys get your questions first. So if you have a question about writing, publishing, and marketing, jump right in and ask your question. I have a list that I'm going to get to. People asked other questions, and I'll definitely get to those ones. But I always want to reward the people who get here, who show up filled up live, okay? So I'm going to get to those questions as well. Who's got a question today? We will jump right in. Last night, what came up a bunch was, can you do this for a fiction book? And you can absolutely do this for a fiction book. I did it with my book, Elixir Project, and it was fantastic. You can turn your fiction book into products and services as well. So we have about 45 questions that people asked. I'm scrolling down, I'm getting to them, and I will definitely start going through this list. But if anybody is here live and they want to ask a question right now before I start going through the list, jump in or you will not get your question answered. I'm coming. We have just a fantastic group in the 5-day challenge. It has been just overwhelming how many people have jumped in, found value. How many of you are on day 1 or day 2 or day 3? Write how many that you're up to. That would be awesome. I want to see where you guys are at. And I'm almost at that thread. I'm coming. Yes, we are coming. It's a big feed. There's a lot of people here. Okay, I said, what is your greatest need? And all these people jumped in and said, here's what their greatest need is. So here we go. How do I get my work set apart from all other authors? By Carla. That's a great question. Somebody tag Carla Starling Stevens, because I'm going to answer her question. How do you get your work set apart from all others? I'll tell you what I do, Carla. I wrote a book called Day Job to Dream Job over there, right? Day Job to Dream Job. There's a ton of people who've written books about going pro with your passion. For instance, Dan Miller, somebody tag Dan Miller. I'm giving him a big shout out. Dan Miller is like the guru, the grandfather of this topic. He wrote a book called 48 Days to the Work That You Love. And here's what I did. Rather than say, oh, I'm just going to make my book just be like any other book, here's what I did, Carla. Number 1, your story is unique, okay? So first and foremost, your story is unique. Dan Miller's book, 48 Days of the Work You Love, is very different than Day Job to Dream Job just because I'm different. And you write out of your own knowledge, experience, story. This is a big point, guys. Do not miss this. I didn't call this Kary's Day Job to Dream Job, one man's journey to finding financial freedom or something like that. Why? Nobody cares about me. Seriously. Your readers care about you, not about you. They care about them. They care about their pain, their struggle, their day job that they're stuck in. They don't care about me. And I'm just being straight up. So what I'm saying is you don't brand your story as a memoir. Unless you're Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, I'm really strongly suggesting that if you want to become a 6-figure author, you want to turn your book into 18 streams of income, I challenge you not to title it or subtitle it after you. And rather, I encourage you to title it or subtitle it after the conversation that's going on in people's head, okay? And that is that they're stuck in their day job. They're one of the 86%. But look, I'm not going to lie. When I started to read Dan Miller's book, and then I actually went, pro with my passion, and then it came time to write my book, I had that self-limiting belief inside me, which many of you have, which is like, what are you going to say different, Kary? Dan Miller's the guy. And by the way, Tanisha came. See, I got to talk about Tanisha in a moment, but let me just give you an explanation. I needed to overcome the own imposter in my head that said, Kary, what are you ever going to say that Dan Miller didn't say? These are the types of things that pop into our head. I call these mind fields, M-I-N-D fields, meaning that most people blow themselves up with their own self-limiting beliefs. By the way, if you just jumped in, please share this. We have a free gift at the end, and David will share that with you. I think you're really going to like it. And type in the word shared when you do so we make sure that you get it. Here's the point. I was watching Shawshank Redemption, and what I said is, you know what? That's my next book. In other words, day job is like your Shawshank. Day job is like your prison. And you know what? Andy went from prison to plan to payoff. He went from Shawshank to Zihuatanejo. All right? And as a result, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. That's how I wrote the book. I wrote the book in exactly that way, so that people would realize, like, this is a book about going pro with your passion, but from a Shawshank lens. And it worked. It totally worked. So there's one example, Carla. You take your story, which is very unique. You see other content that's out there. And I love what Iris says. Iris says, unless you are copying a book word for word, you are giving your own voice to a topic, whatever the topic is. Fantastic advice. That's exactly what I did. I took my story and wrote on a subject matter that is common, and that is a topic, but I gave it a unique slant, a unique look. And folks, that is what you can do. That's actually what we teach all of our authors to do in our program, Author Academy Elite. And that's what I've done with a ton of my books, all right? Somebody says, oh, by the way, Tanisha, here's just a quick tip, everybody. I took this book, Day Job to Dream Job, and my business partner and I, David, what we did is we turned that book into a dream job boot camp. And guess what? Tanisha came. And instead of going to Hawaii, Tanisha went to Shawshank Prison. That's where we had our immersion experience, that we call it. We also turned that book into a mastermind. We turned it into an online course called Dream Job Boot Camp. I turned it into consulting and coaching, right? Folks, this is what you do. You take one book and you turn it into all these streams of income, because now you are a perceived expert on the topic, and people want to sample the content. This is the $15 version, Dream Job Boot Camp Shawshank Edition, where we actually went to the prison, was the $3,000 version. And you might say, would people really pay $3,000? Absolutely. Why? Because they read the book and they say, wow, I love this, but you know what? I don't know how I can craft my dream job or plan. Oh, look, the author has a special experience where he's going to work with us, not only just for 3 days, but for a year. It's called in a mastermind setting. So people actually came to Shawshank Prison. We spent 2 days. The first day was in the jail. I actually put them in the cell. Can you believe this? They went into the prison cell. Is this right, Tanisha? You know it. And what happened? And she says it was great, by the way. Tanisha loved it. But here's the point. People's lives began to change. As they sat in the cell, they said, wow, I had no idea that I actually am in prison, and my day job is sucking the life out of me. And you know what? I am stuck and I'm not free. And by the way, David, I know I'm talking a lot about Day Job to Dream Job by accident because somebody asked the question, but I don't know. Put the link for the Dream Job Boot Camp right now. Go ahead and put that link. So if someone's like, I want that, but it's an online version. It's not the go to the prison version. We don't have that one currently right now. But let me answer another question. Can you relate what you are teaching to fiction authors? Absolutely. How many of you are fiction authors? Go ahead and type in the notes, I'm a fiction author, right? Here's what I did. This is Vicky's question. I took a fiction book. You can check this out. It's all about the future world and how one day humans will be hacked, like in their minds. And it's a crazy conspiracy, young adult, dystopian fiction thriller book, right? And it has nothing to do with personal growth, and it has nothing to do with anything other than a cool, fun, crazy story. But here's the difference. That's where most fiction authors stop. Instead, what I said is, I want the fiction book to address the larger issue of people's lives getting hacked. In other words, people have a dream, and then instead of doing it, they get hacked, they get distracted, they get sidelined, they get sabotaged. And I basically said, you know what? I'm going to create a whole brand that's a spin-off of Elixir Project, a fiction book. And by the way, folks, I made sure that this book was just so much about a story so that nobody would read this and say, oh, well, you know what? This isn't accurate. You know, he's just trying to sell us something. No, no, I wrote a total fiction book so people would just fall in love with the thriller. And then at the very end, what we do is we call these back ads. So it says at the very back of the book, it says, I don't know if you can see that, you've read the book, are you ready for the experience? And then it leads them to a free URL training. This is what you do as fiction writers, folks. What you do is every fiction book is about real life issues. For example, it's about relationships. It's about pressures that teenagers might have. It's about maybe a family that struggles with an autistic child in this fiction book. Fiction content addresses real life issues, and a smart fiction author says, you know what? I'm going to take that fiction story and I'm going to turn it into other products and services. So you could absolutely have a fictional book about a kid who gets bullied because he has autism, right? And some people will just love the story, and some people will just find the characters compelling. But other people will say, oh, wow, I totally relate. I have a kid with autism. And you know what? In the back of the book, they actually talk about how the fiction book has a special free training around it about helping your family with autism. And then people watch that free training, and then they realize at the end that you have a paid course for $500. And you might say, are you serious? People would pay $500 for a course on autism? Absolutely. People would absolutely love to have a course that teaches them how to teach their kid to overcome bullying that he or she might experience from autism. Absolutely. People pay counselors all the time, one-on-one, for short-term counseling sessions. But when you create the course, you are the expert on that content. David, I'm going to ask you to drop in the link. I'd love to give everybody who's watching right now a free copy of Elixir Project so they can see this sequence. Not only will they like the book, but they'll realize how they can stop getting hacked in work and life. Plus, study what we do. Pay attention to what we lead people in. We give you the book for free. It's hardcover. We'll ship it anywhere in the world, literally. But all that we ask is that you cover shipping and handling. So we bought the book for you. David, if you can put the link in, I think it's elixir.karyoberbrunner.com, something like that. But that's an example, folks, that you have right now that you can say, wow, he took a fiction book, and the course around this book, you know, I'm not saying you guys need to buy it. You don't need to. But the course around it is $500. And on day one, we had 100 people join. So that's $50,000 right there. And then we created a live event around how to stop getting hacked. We called it what do we call it exactly? The theme of the conference was how to become unhackable in work and life. And we did this last October. We had over 170 people came to the event. And the tickets were, I don't know, they were like $300 to $500, depending on where you bought it. What I'm saying, folks, is yes, I wrote a great fiction book, and that's cool. But the bigger issue is that we tied products and services around it so that when we launched the book, it already was a six-figure business in the first 6 weeks. And if you think this is crazy, how can you do that? Join the free 5-day challenge. I teach you the model. I give you the model for free. And so jump right in. David put the link below. When you jump in the free course, what you're going to get is you're going to get a Facebook group. You're going to get the 5-day challenge. You're going to get a free webinar where I basically unpack 15 years worth of publishing secrets. After you watch that webinar, you will know more than 95% of the publishing industry experts. And all that stuff is free. Why? Because here's what I know. You have a message. God put a message inside you. Maybe it's just this little dream that you have right now, but you are getting up in the middle of the night at times. You are watching a movie, you're listening to music, and that little idea inside your head and heart says, you know what, someday I want to be an author. Or if you became an author, you know, I wish I would have done it well. I wish I would have done it right. And I know that until you understand this model, because guess what? My first 3 books, they didn't do that well, okay? I wrote them well. I had traditional publishers. It was the book, The Fine Line, nothing wrong with that one. It was Journey Toward Relevance. It's over there. And one of my other books called. But here's the point. The first 3 books I wrote, I didn't know what I know now. And so I kept my day job. Let's just say that. I kept my day job. I didn't really understand how to turn a book into products and services. But then with the next 4 books, right? Your Secret Name in 2010, The Deeper Path in 2012, Day Job to Dream Job in 2014, and then Elixir Project in 2016. Each one of these became 6-figure businesses in and of themselves because I turned them into 18 streams of income. Let's go. We have about 10 minutes left. Let's get into some questions right now. Tanisha says, escaping Shawshank reactivated my dreams. I love to hear that, Tanisha. That's what I want for everybody on this live stream right now. I want you to have the Tanishas of the world say, hey, Bombadil. By the way, Bombadil's here, right? Hey, Bombadil, I read your book. It changed my life. You know, then I joined your course, and then I hopped in your mastermind, and now I'm a soul on fire. I mean, I want that to be true for all of you, right? Laura says, I'm a fiction author. Good. Laura, you need to get it. Seriously, get the book so you understand the model of how we did this. elixir.karyoberbrunner.com. David just put the boot camp there if you want to check it out. Iris says, I'm a fiction author. I've done multiple nonfiction as well. Vicky says she's a fiction author. Iris says she has 6 books published, 2 more waiting for publication. So Ira, if you're rocking it, if you're crushing it, don't listen to me, seriously. But if you say, you know what, I didn't do the marketing as well as I could have. I didn't understand how to launch it in a crazy big way with launch parties and launch teams. And all this stuff that I'm talking about is bootstrapping. Like last night, Mary was on. If you want to meet our next 6-figure author, it's not a public show tonight. It's only for the people who join the 5-day challenge for free. But we're going to be in the group tonight. You're going to meet Derek. Derek is a guy who's turned his book, Shift, into 6 figures. And again, all my students, I mean, I'm bringing them on and I'm giving them the microphone and saying, here, tell your story. And those of you who met Mary last night, you heard her story. You heard Melissa 2 nights ago. You're going to hear Derek tonight. And then there's 2 more guests Monday night and Tuesday night. And then we have the crazy big webinar on Wednesday. So it's going to be fantastic. Laura wants to take the plunge into the fiction. Here's one of my guys who took the course, right? The $500 course. Don says EPX will change your life. 30 days to become unhackable and work in life. So people's lives are changed. Wow, Ira, that's pretty cool. That's amazing that I just pulled that out of my mind. I think it's a God thing, but you're an autistic parent and you wrote a book about an autistic child. So there you go, Ira. That whole analogy I just gave, I guess, was for you about how you could do that, right? David's listing the Elixir thing. I'm just going through the questions. Michelle says, would you sign the book? Tell me what that means, Michelle. I want to answer your questions. What does that mean? Would you sign the book? Are you talking about, like if you get my book? You know what? I know you, Michelle. I've met you in California, I believe. And the books get shipped actually from a fulfillment center. Like I pay them for the book. I pay them to ship it out, and you don't have to pay. You just pay for shipping and handling. So I don't know. They might be signed already. I might have signed a bunch of them. I just don't know. Tanisha says Elixir Project is a life-changing experience. Laura says, so are you saying that writing the book is enough to make you a perceived expert on what you're teaching? You don't need other credentials. Look, Laura, it depends how you write the book. I have plenty of books that I could pull off the shelf. I'm just going to start pulling my authors, okay? Amy Schmidauer, okay? Author Academy Elite. Boom. Guess who called her the other day? Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins called her the other day and said, hey, can you teach my business mastery class all about vlogging? Amy, you type in the word vlog, V-L-O-G, she is dominating Amazon. She's the #1 person on Amazon for vlogging. Yes, when you do a book the way I teach, you are a perceived expert. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they just leave it up to traditional publishers who are book printers, or they leave it up to self-publishing, and they don't understand all these things that make a book done the right way. There is a right way to do a book, and I know you know this. We've all met people at a networking event or at a conference who walk up to us and they say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I saw you here. I want you to have a copy of my book. It's free. You feel it. There's 52 fonts on the back. You see typos. The book feels super cheap. The paper doesn't look good. And the title is like not even catchy. It doesn't do the pinch method that I taught you in the 5-day challenge today. I gave you my free method for picking a killer book title. If you missed it, you can still jump in and get that free. Pay attention to the link. It's karyoberbrunner.com/5-day challenge. I believe that's what it is. David, can you share that one more time? But here's the point, Laura. No, not all books are created, just like not all cars are built equally, right? You can buy a car for $1 and you can buy a car for $1 million. You can buy a house for $5 at Lowe's. It's some plywood and nails. And you can buy a house for millions and millions of dollars. The point is this: the book doesn't make you the perceived expert. The book done well, written, published, and marketed well. And guys, I'm just a former pastor, okay? I'm a guy who had a stuttering problem in school. I got laughed off the school play and cried, right? Because I had such a severe stuttering problem. I had to go to speech therapy. I just stopped talking as a young child because I got made fun of so much. Then as a young adult, I fell into an addiction called self-injury. I became a cutter, and that's how I made it through my young adult years, struggling with depression, suicidal thoughts, and self-injury. Why do I share that with you today? Not so you cry on my shoulder, right? I'm a bald guy with a girl's name, right? I mean, I'm nobody special, but yet I think we're all special. I think you are incredibly special, and I don't care what your struggles have been in the past. They should not stop you. I just said the other day, your deepest struggle often becomes your greatest impact. Did you hear that? The area of your deepest struggle often becomes your area of your greatest impact. This is your moment. You are not here by accident. You are here for a reason. God's put a message in your head and in your heart, but you got to take the next step. And you know what your next step today is? It's free, okay? It's to join the 5-day challenge, get around and see what I'm offering day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4 and day 5, and you will be blown away at how systematically this is just a structure. It's a process. All right, let's keep going to the next person. Denise says you are a marketing genius. Thank you, Denise. You know, Denise, I used to be your pastor, right? So I don't have a business degree. I don't have a marketing degree. I have a doctorate in teaching Bible stories, okay? But here's the point. I had a big enough passion to say, you know what? I want to ignite souls, and I want to get outside the 4 walls of the church, and I want to just reach the masses who are living a life of quiet desperation. Carl Jung, a Swiss psychologist, said, what's the most damaging thing in the life of a child? Do you know what the answer is? I thought it was alcoholism. I thought it was abuse. I thought it was abandonment. The most damaging thing in the life of a child is the unlived life of the parent. The parent who's not living out their calling. The parent who is scared. The parent who is saying, give me the remote, kids. Let me veg out on the sofa. Don't bug me. They're drinking their 6-pack, right? And veg is short for vegetable. Let me be brain dead, kids, so that I can go back to a job that I hate. That's why I do what I do, so that I can help set people free and help them get connected to their creator, their core, and their community, so they can become a soul on fire and share their message with the world. That's why I live and exist, and I live and exist that with my kids, my wife. I want to be a soul on fire wherever I go, and that's why I'm passionate today to share this with you. But here's the point. You can learn this system. I want to teach you this system as well. Laura says, that's right. Seriously, think of it this way. How many other people have written a book on the subject you've written in? The perception makes you marketable. Awesome. Tanisha says, I was one of the 100 and I learned valuable information at the conference. Fantastic. Michelle says, thank you for your generosity. Petula says, Elixir Project experience changed my life in 30 days and enabled me to write my book in 21 days. Somebody screenshot that. I've never heard that, Petula. I'm so honored that, a fiction book, seriously, a fiction book changed Petula's life. Why? Because we built a course around it. And it's a 30-day course that we built around it. And now I guess, I've never heard this before, but it helped her write her book in 21 days. I love it. I'm going to keep that testimonial. That's fantastic. Iris says, I don't have a day job other than writing. Being blind helps me have time for it. Hey, fantastic. let's keep going here. I read Shift by Derek. I can't wait for the interview tonight. Absolutely. Heidi says, looking forward to reading Day Job to Dream Job because that is what I did. I'm looking forward to write my first book. She lives in, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Curacao, I believe. But I remember you from all these years ago, Heidi. It's great to hear from you. I'm glad you're living your passion. Georgette says, thank you. This is awesome. Anybody else have a question? I literally have one more minute. She says, when you talk about your deepest troubles, I do believe that is what you can use to teach others. I believe it. Fantastic. Does anyone have any other question? Well, here's what, folks, it's noon. I promised a half hour. I'm thrilled to be with so many of you right now. A lot of you are part of the 6-Figure Author 5-Day Challenge. We're going to give you more and more value. I apologize for the messed up email this morning. I had some links that were broken. We fixed it and we shot you out a new email so you have that challenge. And I see tons of people today already posting the challenge outcomes for the day. So you guys are on fire. David, thanks for taking notes today. You're fantastic. Erica will be back tomorrow. And folks, all I can say as we go today is that I am no different than you. Mary is no different than you. Melissa is no different than you. Derek is no different than you. All these people who've become 6-figure authors. But here's the one difference. They took the next best step. They didn't know all the steps in the beginning. They didn't know step 89. They saw a journey in front of them and they said, I'm going to take the next best step. And that's exactly what they did. And then once they got there, they took the next best step and the next best step. And then you look back over 6 months, or for Petula, 21 days, and now she has a finished book. That's how it happens. Don't overthink it. Don't let perfectionism lead to procrastination, because that's what it does. It sabotages us as humans when we think that we need to know all the next steps. No, take imperfect action. And last thing I'll leave you with today is please jump into the 5-Day Challenge. That's where I can help you even more. I'll see you tonight with our number 3 mystery figure author. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Have a brilliant day. We'll see you.